When I invest in a company, I look for great entrepreneurs, especially in the early stage, which is where I tend to do most of my investing. You're investing in the people. And of course, you have to believe in the company, you have to believe in the product that they're building and the service that they want to provide and the way that they want to connect with their clients or their consumers. But you're really investing in the individuals. You're investing in the founding team. And it's funny because people will often ask me, if those entrepreneurs fail, will you invest in them again? And the answer is, it depends on how they fail, and it depends on how they communicate their failure. If an entrepreneur fails and they are graceful and communicative and learn how to really manage the process of winding down, I would invest in them again every day of the week because they handled the situation well. You invest in people. And most investors, especially most early stage venture investors, like to say, you bet the jockey, not the horse. And it's so true. You're investing in those individuals. So I look for people who are not just intelligent and hardworking, but that are honest and transparent and who have gone above and beyond the call of duty to show that they understand the space that they intend to operate in, how they intend to operate, and who their competition is. You'd be surprised at how many entrepreneurs are out there starting companies who think that they've built the most amazing startup and that they have no competition. Everyone has competition. And the good entrepreneur, the person who I would bet on every day of the week, is the person who recognizes who the competition is and how they're going to either benefit from, collaborate with, or work around the competition that exists. The great entrepreneur and the one that I want to bet on and put my dollars behind is the one who knows how to communicate, build teams, manage balance sheets and bottom lines, build an amazing company that is a result of feedback, and that's a result of continuous feedback to build the best possible company that they can. That's something that I would be proud to stand behind every day of the week. The keys to creating a wonderful brand identity, and then eventually creating your marketing strategy is to understand what your product means to your consumer, how you better their life, what inspires them and motivates them to make a purchase. To make the first purchase is oftentimes the easy part. To get them to buy again and to drive consumer loyalty and what I like to now call a price-obsessed market is far more difficult. The way that you do that is to understand who your consumer is and to talk to them in the way that they want to be spoken to. That means that we may have to segment the way that we talk to various consumers, depending on who your target market is. That may mean that the subject line of an email for the millennial versus the Gen X has to be different, or that the content of an email or a social media posting has to be different. But it's really about understanding who your consumer is, what drives them to have interest in your product or service, what drives them to make purchase number one, when they need to come back, what motivates them to come back, and how we can help inspire them to come back for more, to come back for another purchase, another experience, to come back for more information. And oftentimes it's about figuring out how to make your brand a part of their life. Some brands are lifestyle brands, and when you're a lifestyle brand, you have to figure out far more than just how to talk to your consumer. You have to really figure out how it is that you work into their life and how it is that your product or service can continuously make their life better. Keyword is continuously. So many people think that marketing is a flash in the pan. It's not. It's something that we have to work at all the time. When you stop talking to your consumer in the way that they want to be spoken to, your message falls on deaf ears. It's a nightmare for the marketer. It's a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. You've got to really figure out where they are. It's not just about talking to them. It's also about meeting them where they are. And that can be physically where they are, where they're shopping, where they're living. It can be more abstractly where they are on social media or listening to music, but finding out what those lifestyle habits are of your consumer and making sure that you're there as often as they need you. That's the other key, as often as they need you. So many people think, oh gosh, I've got to run this ad every single day. That may turn off your consumer. you've also got to figure out a cadence at which your consumer wants to be contacted and the medium at which they want your communication to come across. Creating networks is really important because I truly believe that people, especially in this day and age, work with and turn to first the people who they know, respect, and trust. This is no longer the day and age of people getting hired or the job interview just because their resume says they're qualified. Yes, absolutely, that helps, but where is a CEO turning when they need a head of a new division? They're turning to someone in their network who they can trust with the early access to the opportunity, with the early feedback of the potential of that opportunity, and who they also know is qualified. It's really in building those networks that we find and derive and create so much value for ourselves, both personally and professionally. For me, it's the story of my life. It's how I've been able to create what I like to call, a life that's really truly serendipitous by design. It's serendipitous by design because my friends are my colleagues and my colleagues are my friends. And it's a circle of people who are not just experts in their field, but who are people that I admire and trust and have long-standing personal relationships with. We have a foundation. I have, if I want to start my next new company tomorrow, the people who I'm going to tap to be my executive team are people who are within my network. For so many people, they think that being well networked means being well connected or being well connected online through social media or even on LinkedIn. It's not. It's being able to really have points of reference through experience and through personal interaction with someone that creates a deeper bond and relationship that you can rely on to turn to them and for them to turn to you. Those valuable networks are what has made me and my career who I am today and has gotten me where I am today. It's by being able to surround myself with amazing people who are not just experts, but who care about Lauren, who care about far more than the Maillian Bias than most people who don't know me think they know. They in turn know that I care just as much about them. And having those networks is so important because without them, it's funny, there's a saying that people say, which is, show me who your friends are and I'll show you what your future and your success looks like. And that's so true. I make it a point to surround myself with real, genuine people who are genuine in their heart and their spirit and true to their word and experts at what they do. But more importantly, those people have enriched my life so much. And the biggest tip that I can tell anyone when going and trying to build networks is be genuine. Because social climbing is A, obvious, B, tacky, and C, gonna get you nowhere. I make it a point to try to genuinely connect with people when I meet them. If I don't, I consider it a connection that wasn't meant for me.